Hey, 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 good morning. Look at this. I've got a rooster tail. What do I do with that? Oh my gosh, story of my life, right? It's like if you don't have hair, okay, oh my gosh, I have to fix this. It's gonna make me insane. If you don't have like hair and makeup every day of your life, right? It's struggle. The struggle is real. Good morning, everybody. It is day, I don't know, I think maybe day 13 of 100 days of more of me coming into your inbox. Your inbox. What the hell am I saying? Oh my gosh, I've been doing this all morning. Do you ever just wake up and you were like, I cannot like do anything right, get anything straight, find words, one of those mornings. Anyway, um, coming to you in your Facebook feed and Facebook Live. So it's been 100 days and more of lots of things of, where to lay your worries down and who to be in business and how to get more done and productivity and all kinds of stuff. And so this morning I'm going to talk about something that I think is really interesting because it's a little bit topical in the British news right now. I think it so relates to business and how we do business and what that looks like. And so, yes, I thought I would talk about it this morning. But first of all, just ask how you're doing. Right? How are you? Like those of you that are hanging out with me, that are jumping on this Facebook Live, what's going on for you? Like, not how are you doing today? And somebody saying, oh, good, thank you. How about you? But really asking, how are you? Right? How are you? How are you? Maybe not even today, but how are you in this moment? Right? And what are you experiencing in this moment? And in this day, and maybe like how did just the last few hours of your morning go? I think that we spend a lot of time saying to people, "How are you doing?" and we don't really want to know. Right? We don't truly want to know. It's a politeism that we use. So I'm asking you this morning and truly asking you and seeing you and holding you and saying, how are you this morning? How are you really? Like, what is going on for you? Michelle Ann saying, hanging out with sick kids. Yeah, that's never fun. Felicia, good morning. Good to see you. And I see Audrey and I see Hanneke. So so just starting off by truly asking you. And I think when you share how you really are, not just I'm fine, how are you? But I think when you share how you really are, people see you more. They even experience you on a deeper level. So how I am is a problem hairdo. I got my hair cut. It's too short. It's making me crazy. They're very sweet. A lot of you are like, oh, I love your new hair. And that's fine. But the bummer of it is that I have a photo shoot in a week and a half. And so it's a touch short for what we really want. And but I don't think these are the biggest problems in the world. They are annoying problems, but I don't think they're the biggest problems in the world. So I'm looking at you this morning and saying, how are you? And what is going on in your world and what's going on in your life. So share that in the feed with me. I really do want to know how you are today and how you are this morning. So you see that I put in the name of this, more money outside of the circle. We should continue our coffee talk. Actually, I made coffee yesterday. So today I went to one of my places. Let me see if I can. Oh, I don't want to spill it on the screen. This is a lavender latte. And it's delicious. It's local lavender from a lavender farm here that we have. And they partner with a coffee shop here and make a delicious, beautiful lavender latte. So I had that and an everything bagel brioche that they also make homemade there. And later today, they never have them because they're always out. This place is called Gray Squirrel. If you're a client or you're somebody who is going to come to Chapel Hill at some point, it's actually right across the street from the hotel where we're holding our next event. But it's called Gray Squirrel. Oh, here it is. And they make homemade vegan peanut butter chocolate cups. The best peanut butter chocolate cup I have ever eaten in my life. and they never have them. And so I bought everyone that they had and brought them into the team so that they could try them as well. So anyway, so that's my coffee. My coffee is lavender latte, and hopefully you're drinking something delicious this morning. So more money outside the circle. So let's talk about this. So, you know, this whole Meghan Markle UK royal family drama trauma thing is actually quite interesting from a marketing perspective, and from really kind of digging in and looking at what is actually happening there. Now, just so you know, I am not a royal historian, and I'm also not a Meghan Markle or the prince's psychologist. So I'm not going to try to tell you. I certainly don't know what they're thinking, because I don't think anybody knows what they're thinking except they know what they're thinking. But I do want to do a little analysis about it and around it, and how it can relate to you and your business. You know, it's so funny because most businesses and most industries are very institutional, right? They are very institutional. The insurance industry has done something the way it's done it, and they've done it over and over. The coaching industry does what they do, and they've done it over and over. The health and wellness industry, you know, very institutional. The therapeutic industry, all industries are very institutional. There is a long lineage of how things are done, and how people do things, and how they get results, and what that looks like. And you could probably share with me, like the industry you're in, something that you just know, this is the way it happens, right? This is how it happens. So I'd love for you, whatever industry you're in, whether you're in the coaching industry or you're in the real estate industry, I'd love for you to like share with me something that like, this is just how things are done. And I think the coaching industry has a lot of that. It has a lot of, well, this is just how things are done. And certainly people come in and they disrupt industries, and they disrupt patterns and all of that. And that's exactly what's going on with the royal family right now. Is, again, this is my interpretation of it. I'm not saying that I know it all or that I'm right. But, you know, you have someone who came into the royal family who, I mean, when you think about this from a racial standpoint, it kind of blows my mind. Melanie and I were talking about this the other day. When you think about the fact that the leaders of a country, right, when you have a monarchy, the leaders of the country are determined by birth order, right? That's how it's determined. And so in essence, you basically say no one of a different race, no one of a different genetic experience will ever have authority or be in a position of power in this country. Okay, this is just my opinion, but the oppression that presents is pretty crazy. So you stay with me, everybody, because this is really relating to business. So I know we're talking Meghan Markle here, but it really relates to business. So when you think about the institution of that, hey, Benita, good morning. Hey, Kitty. Hey, Ayelet. When you think about the institution of that, it's kind of mind-blowing. And it's kind of mind-blowing from the standpoint of, if you are different, I mean, can you imagine the little girl or the little boy who grows up in that country and they do not ever see themselves or their family or their experience being ever to be a royal or to be in that type of leadership position? So anyway, there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. And then you have this woman who comes in and she marries him, and they already know it's kind of non-traditional and everything's different. And we know that this is a young man who, his mother died kind of at the hands of, you know, just of a crazy media society. And so it's interesting. So they've decided to pull away. And what I think is fascinating is, obviously they've said they're going to become financially independent. And what I would bet is that they are going to become insanely financial independent, and they are going to become extraordinarily wealthy beyond, and it will be independent wealth, which is pretty incredible, but extraordinarily independent from the royal family and from the monarchy. And that will be true financial freedom, because while I am, no doubt, it is a great honor and privilege to be grown to be born into the royal family, there is no freedom, really, right? There is no freedom. And we've heard stories of this, that, you know, it can kind of be a prison sentence. And so they've committed to being outside of that, and being outside of that, here's the deal. I think they're going to make a shit ton of money. I mean, I don't know how they intend to make it. I don't know if Meghan's going to go back to acting, and I don't know if, you know, we know that they trademarked a brand name. But my point of sharing this as it relates to business is, most people who do extraordinarily well in business get outside of the inner circle. Let me say that again. They get outside of the inner circle. And I think that I'll be really vulnerable and share my experience when I was first stepping into this coaching world, and what happened to me and what my experience has been, is that, you know, we're all human. We want to be a part of something. We want to be connected to something. We want people to accept us. I mean, these are all pieces of human nature. And when I was first starting out, I saw all the leaders in the coaching space and in the coaching industry. And I certainly was like, how do you get into that inner circle? Right? Because that inner circle is where the money is. And I want to hear, please share. This is something I really want you to give me feedback on. Share with me, like, when you look at your industry, what's your secret thoughts? When you look at the leaders, right? When you see the leaders of your industry, kind of what are your secret thoughts on them? Because mine were in the beginning, how do I get in the room? You know, there's an amazing song in Hamilton the musical that says, I want to be in the room where it happens. And that's kind of the mentality I had when I first started, was how do you get in that room, right? Because through those connections, through those people who are already doing it, if you're in that room, you got to be somebody, you must become somebody, you must, right? That's how you make this work and make it happen. And so I very much thought those thoughts of, like, how do I get in the room where it happens with those people? And what I recognized was that while I did in some levels, and you know, did kind of connect with some of those people, I also recognized that when you form a circle, a very tight circle, it can be a trap. When you form a very tight circle, it can also be a trap. And I never fit in. And, you know, maybe that's for another Facebook Live, but I never fit in. I have always done things differently. I've always been a little different. I've always been a little loud. I've always been a little bossy. I've always been a little off center. I've always been a little different. And so in knowing that, it's like, you know, I kind of spent my whole life wavering between wanting to fit in and saying, fuck it, I don't care if I fit in. But what I did find in business, that is that very tight circle can become a trap that you can get stuck in the middle of, and it's really hard to get out of. And so when I began to say, I'm not going to be in the circle, and I'm going to create my own platform. I'm going to create my own circle. I'm going to focus less on trying to be in the room where it happens, and focus more on building my own table, right? Creating my own room. It's really where my success happened. And so, you know, a friend of mine and a colleague, Chris Brogan, wrote a book called The Freak Shall Inherit the Earth. And he says he wrote the book for his children, who are a little weird, a little off center. But the truth of the matter is that it really is about, it is the people that are unique. It is the people that are outside of the circle. It's the people that are a little different who typically get the most attention. Now, there's a danger in that. There's also the danger of people sometimes don't understand the difference of creating their own circle and being outside of the circle. And sometimes going, oh, I'm just going to be weird and different. And that, for the sake of being weird and different, doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it can actually backfire. So what I'm asking is there something you're trying to get, do, be, or have, and you're trying to do that through kind of the industry ladder or the environmental ladder or the, the colleague ladder, or whatever that is. And how could you succeed on a much deeper level by stepping out of that and creating your own path? A great example of this for me was I just struggled to get on people's stages. And I struggled to get on people's stages, and people didn't know me, and people wouldn't say yes to me. And I don't know, maybe they didn't want me. I don't know. And I started to create my own stages. And, this is a really great example. Oprah tells a story about this as well, that the industry way of doing things were that when she got her show is that you gave a piece of it to other people, and then that was less burden on you and she never gave a piece of her show away, and therefore obviously when it became what it became, it was all hers financially and every piece of it. And so I just say, think of a moment about what's going on. I know they're calling it Mexit, but Meghan Markle and Harry's separation from that. It's like, he's never going to be king. He's sixth in line, so it's a very, very small chance that he's ever going to be king. So he's in a position with a wife that is unhappy and a very independent woman and knew how to make her own money. He's in a position where he can either be a highly paid assistant for the rest of his life, or he can chart his own path and create his own circle and develop whatever financial independence and freedom that they want, and be who they want and do what they want, and get out of the trap of that very tight circle. And I think what's really interesting is you're going to see a man and a woman who actually become wildly financially successful, probably with a lot more freedom. I was just even hearing this morning that one of the things that she struggled with was the royal family dress code. Oh, Lord, I would struggle with the royal family dress code. I imagine this is not on it in one of my favorite snuggly sweatshirts today. But outside of the circle is a lot of money and a lot of freedom. And so I would ask you, in your attempt to accomplish what you want to accomplish in your business and in your finances and in your life, I would ask you, are you trying to kind of weasel your way? I don't mean that in a negative way or a scammy way. Are you trying to slide your way into the inner circle, and you're pushing and you're pulling and you're trying to get in there? Or could you just step back and go, I think if I built my own circle, that I could stand out, I could be unique. There's a whole group of people that have to also feel this way, and the circle doesn't interest them or entertain them. And I could find my people over here by building my own thing, my own way. So there's a lot of money outside the circle, right? I want you to think about your industry and your life and what you want and what that looks like. And I want you to think, should I take a Meghan moment? Should I take a Meghan moment and get out of the royal dress code and put on some leggings and create my own circle, become very independent and be seen, right? So that's what I would ask you to do today. That was what's on my mind this morning. We will be back here. Tomorrow's Friday, so I think I'm going to do some Q&A. So would love to see you tomorrow morning. Would love for you to bring a question to the Facebook Live. We'll be here at 10 a.m. So bring a really hot business question or life question, coaching question. I'm going to do some live coaching here, answer your questions, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me and showing up. Everybody have an awesome day.